Hello, hello, welcome back to the Let's Play that never dies, Final Fantasy XI. And today, well, it's the same day really, but it's many hours later, late at night. And we're gonna get back to doing Geomancer artifact quests now that we can. I would have started with Rune Fencer quests, but I wound up not. The person who spawned the NM took so long fighting it that I just had to leave. I couldn't watch them anymore. All their trust died and they were just sitting there in full Nyame, slowly but surely whittling it down. It took them 20 minutes to get halfway dead, and I just said, I'm not standing here another 20 minutes while you hog this. I'm just gonna go do something else. So I went on about my business. So we'll start off with the Geomancer ones. Oh, she's been meaning to thank us again. Lyso's been so wondermentous with making arrangements for Daddy's funeral, but things are never as smooth as you want them to be, right? Why? Because I'm of Zacariahrria's blood. Yes, that Zacariahrria. One of the 5 disciples of Renee. Some stories claim that Zacariahrria was a traitor who betrayed the other Geomancers. They even go so far as to say that the great primal Geomancer died because of his betrayal. That's why they think he incurred the wrath of nature, and why all of his descendants are shunned. As if that weren't reason enough, the whole hullabaloozy, what's it, about pioneering and how Daddy was involved with it, means that many of the Order of Renee's Geomancers will have nothing to do with Daddy's funeral. Having heard all this, I'm sure that you don't want to help me anymore, right? Maybe I don't give a shit about Zacariahrria's blood. He probably wasn't a traitor. He was probably doing the right thing, and Renee was just a dumb old bitch. Thank you, Calmwind. There's something in particular that I need help with. My family is traditionally buried in Certus caverns, though Adelin's politics have made it difficult at times. And with so many Acuexes there, the entourage is having a tough ride. It would help so much if I had a few chunks of Acuex ore from those stupid things for use in the ceremony. I don't care how you get a hold of them, Calmwind, but could you bring me 3 chunks of Acuex ore? It'd be a monumentacular help, and you'd refine your Geomancer skills too. Geomancering skills too. Killing 2 birds in the eye of the Oh, she's too funny. But it seems I did not gauge where my throat's at, and I need a glass of water desperately, so I will be right back. My apologies for that. Just never thought my throat would be giving out so soon into a recording attempt. I normally don't try to record when I'm feeling any sort of throat trouble. Oh, calm wind, you've brought the chunks of FFXI just like I asked. You're always so wonderful to me. It was the funeral to end all funerals, thanks to you and my show. To Zacariahrria line's traditional burial spot is deep within the eastern section of the caverns, where a green stone sticks out from the ground. That's where Daddy's final resting place is. Now that I think about it, I should probably go perform the traditional Zacariahrria prayer ritual there. If you find yourself in the area, Calmwind, I'd like you to stop by and pay your respects. Daddy would have appreciated that. Okay, so I think I'm ninja sub from what I was doing before this. A buddy of mine asked for help with Dynamics Divergence clear, and they've did a big update where they made it you able to enter Dynamics Divergence every day in a separate instance that everyone on the server shares. And it opens like, I think like every 2 hours or something like that, or every other 2 hours. So I think it opens like 12 times a day or something, or maybe 6 times a day. And basically, you can get your Wave 1 and your Wave 2 clears for relic reforging. Out of the way. But you can't get your Wave 3 clears for relic weapons, so you still have to do the original Dynamics Divergence. And I like this, because it's kind of like a compromise. They didn't just change the old, you know, they didn't just delete old content. They kept the content the way it was. And, so you don't have to be, you know, you don't miss out on content by the new alteration. So we've got to go to Certus Caverns, which I'm starting to feel real bad for Sylvie because, you know, like, apparently she's from a supposedly cursed bloodline. Her family gets buried in this hellish cavern that's, like, full of, you know, it just looks like an open sore. Like, the webs on the ground might as well be pus. So I'm pretty sure back in the day the umbrals hidden here were true sight? Oh god, excuse me. But, oh well. Not anymore. If they ever weren't. Yeah, though, imagine, like, just being shunned your whole life. Apparently that's silly. Oh, damn it, cat. I do not want you up here right now. My wife's cat left under my desk. She really likes me. It's, concerning when she jumps onto my desk when I'm doing anything remotely serious, because my keyboard has a screen lock button, and if she steps on it, which she has before, it goes to the lock screen and crashes the game. I need to get a different keyboard, but I'm kind of flat broke. I don't feel comfortable buying anything, really. I've been buying all of the groceries, and not found work still, so my bank account is very sad. I don't want to join the Lair Reef. Do not join the Lair Reef. You're not here for the Lair Reef. We are trying to go to M8. And that's like the other motherfucking side of the zone. Jesus Christ. Invidious lizard. I was thinking about it earlier today. I was doing some zealous orbs, or zealous orbs. Oh right, this isn't, I always forget, I always think it's like a climbing thing, but it's like it's just the rock wall. But I was doing some zealous orbs, and I was running through Ottawa Chasm, and if you're not familiar with Ottawa Chasm, it has Gasponia flowers throughout one half of the zone, which they bloom, I think, at nighttime, and they poison your character. Or at least they used to. I don't know if they still do, if they altered that or not. They've altered a lot about the game, actually. And it just made me think, how many zones in the game did they actually make where something in the zone that's not a creature, you know, actively harms your character? And the answer is not a whole lot. At least until Adeline. Adeline is where they, like, I guess try to go hog wild. And, you know, you have all those little things, like we ran by them, the pungent fungi that, you know, tried to poison us. The, like, ice rime things, mirrored drifts. It's an idea they had for the game, you know, way earlier in its life. They just didn't implement it because I guess it got negative player feedback. Because back in the day, you know, other than doing your mission, almost no one wanted to be in Ottawa Chasm, because even if you could cure the poison, it would just come back on you. And so it made it a very dangerous zone, especially since at nighttime the courses would also spawn, you know, undead that aggro your blood. So if the poison dropped you down to yellow HP, you would get aggro and die. You know, get attacked. And I have exactly one memory of going to Ottawa Chasm and dying to the poison there, because the first time I got there, I went there during the day and nothing bad happened. And then at nighttime, I got poisoned. I had no antidotes, and I had no potions, and I was just a warrior, and trusts did not exist, and you couldn't mount, and I just slowly watched my character die, and just for the crime of being there. And not a lot of games do that to you anymore. And obviously Adelins don't really affect you very much in the modern era. But it's a concept they had, and I kind of wish they had at least made one area where it was really, truly bothersome. So that people could have that same sort of experience and story that I've got. You know, it's not the most interesting story, granted, but I'm just saying, you know, they had the idea that this world would be dangerous and indifferent to you, and you know, it was going to be baked into the very flora and not just the fauna of the game world. Let's see. And how many of these things we're gonna have to go through? Umbral Shade Warrior implies the presence of Umbral Shade Civilian. Or non-warrior? I don't know. What did they call folks back in the day that weren't fighters? You know? In like tribal times. I don't know. Overgrown grave. Right near an Ergon locus. Calm wind. Oh, I'm so glad you decided to come. The spirits of my ancestors are always watching over me from this place, I think. But it's still really scary to come here by myself, you know? Somehow I made it here in one piece, so it's time to ring the bell and begin the ceremony. Won't you come pray with me, Calm Wind? Daddy, may the life stream keep you snug in its warm embrace. May you become one with nature, and may she always keep you safe. The ceremony has been completed, now that I've buried the stones you gathered for me. Calm Wind, do you remember how Lyso rang her bell and called forth the communion? I think the way my bloodline rings our bells to send off the dead is pretty similar. It's been said that though our spirits rise into the sky when we die, a geomancer's flesh returns to the ground and becomes part of the life stream. The more we train to use the life stream, the more we aid nature in all her forms. And now that Daddy is part of the life stream, he's watching over us all. But this is a belief held only by the descendants of Zacariahrria, and other geomancers don't lend an ear to our concerns. Look over there, Calm Wind. That's the grave of my ancestor, Zacariahrria. He was one of the 5 disciples of Cyrene, and his grave is the only one left standing. The legends state the other 4 were chosen by the higher power, and their corporeal forms vanished from Vanadiel. But Zacariahrria was not, so he was left in this land, cold and alone. Many people say that this is because Zacariahrria was a traitor. But I mean, no one knows for sure, right? At least Lyso was kind enough to listen to me. Oh, I totally forgot. She gave me a message for you. She wants you to see her at the Order of Rene in Eastern Adelan. Oh, Sylvie, you went and forgot something important again. Okay, so I guess now we just go back to Eastern Adeline, which is gonna involve warping. But the plot thickens. You know, how much you want to bet that Zacariahrria was actually the only good geomancer and the other four were the traitors? And because they were the actual evil ones, their graves, you know, like, crumbled away. And, like, their souls were, like, sucked up by, I don't know, like, Rick Asner or something. Since he was the only actual upright one, he's untouchable or something. That's my bet. Or something similar. They rarely have you help characters that had, you know, like, truly bad, you know, like, ancestors in games. They're always misunderstood or secretly the good guy. You know, it's a trope, and I don't dislike it, honestly. I don't think it's, you know, tropes are, you know, tried and true storytelling beats, right? They exist for a reason. You know, the reason they exist, you know, is because so often in history, the powers that be will lie and besmirch the reputations of the people who actually get shit done, or the people who actually do a lot of good in the world, just so that they can take the credit and the glory and the accolades. And it's sad, but it's true. And I'm fairly certain that's what's happening here. Ah, calm wind. Iki Eskimo and Lyso FFXI have been waiting for you. I am afraid, however, that Lyso is taken ill. Please make your visit brief. The cat wants out of the room. I've got the door shut because I'm trying to not wake my wife up. Okay, cat. Go ahead. Lyso, forgive my impudence, but I must be frank. You may have fallen ill because the higher power is angered at your assistance of the blood of the betrayer. I disagree. The higher power would not castigate her just because we aided another. No, what's more likely is that the betrayer's descendant poisoned her. And Lyso, what do you think? I cannot quite put my finger on it, but it probably has to do with our total inability to stop the colonization of Lupuka. Look who it is, one of the pioneers who caused all this trouble to begin with. This is why I was completely opposed to sharing the powers of the Geomancer with one so intent on pillaging and defiling the land. That's enough out of all of you. This man is a guest of ours. Forgive me for not being able to give you a proper greeting, Calmwind. Lyso used the power of the communion to converse with something greater than us, the higher power. I suppose I am so tired because the spell took the wind out of my sails. Calmwind, I called you to this manse today because I have something to bequeath unto you. Is it wise to entrust this one with something so precious? Here, for you. Many assert it was a grave mistake for geomancers who have lent their aid to the colonization effort. But Iki and I were both in accord that this issue of opening up the continent is one that should be resolved with the pioneers, not in spite of them. Nature, the higher power, has striven for eons to reconcile the irreconcilable with her loving embrace. We too must follow her example. As both a pioneer and a geomancer, you stand at the crossroads of two disparate worlds. I hope, my dear, that you will continue to work with us to find an answer. Geomancy Metains. And apparently this is also where we unlock the ability to have the other pieces forged, I guess? Maybe? I'm not sure exactly how it works. Okay, but apparently we have another game day wait on our hands. And the game day literally just changed. Sigh. But, you know what that means we can do? We can go and finish that Rune Fencer quest. And I can know for a fact that the other Rune Fencers that were doing it, at least the one that got in our way earlier, was a stupid moron who doesn't know how to play this game. And the reason I'm so miffed about it is the player in question, it's not like they were a newbie. They were wearing Odyssey gear. They'd killed Bumba before. Okay, and if you kill Bumba on any difficulty level, right, you at least get access to one of the most powerful armor sets that's ever existed in this entire game. And people on the wiki were able to beat that elemental in less time with far weaker gear 8 or 9 years ago. With trusts, by the way. So it's a little, I'm a little irritated. But it is an elemental, and it doesn't take a lot of physical damage, so we might as well do weird stuff like sub-black mage. Because we might be better off just spamming spells. And we don't technically have to fight it on Rune Fencer, but I kind of want to, because it's the AF quest for the job, and even though you don't have to do the AF quests on the jobs after you reach a certain point in the quest line, it always just feels more appropriate to do so. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I thought about going on Scholar to, like, maybe spread bar spells onto my trust, and that actually might be smarter than going with Black Mage sub. But I also feel like I don't think it's going to take that long to kill this thing. So, you know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm dumb. But we'll find out, you know. Also, most importantly about these Adeline artifact sets, you don't want to throw them away because they have a lot higher utility for their respective jobs than old artifact armor, because they're already why didn't I feel like it must have been to keep DT or something. they're already reforged, so you can already start to see how good they are. But more than that, they also you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna be Galaxy Brain and use Scholar Sub just in case for a little extra safety. But yeah, there's also, since you don't get any of it from like coffers or anything, I think if you were to have to like erase your memory and get it again, you would have to do all these quests all over again, including their game day waits. An old artifact armor doesn't have any game day waits until you start reforging it. So it would be really bad to throw away Rune Fencer or Geomancer artifact armor. And hopefully no one gets in our way this time, because I am in no mood. It's kind of funny, like I lost my motivation to keep uploading this Let's Play for a good while. Like I was still uploading occasionally, you know, but I didn't feel like recording, even having all the time in the world. And then all of a sudden, just like interest in 11 has gone back up, it seems, and like the 3 biggest servers are all getting locked because they have too many players for the old servers to handle. And like just like one by one, every server is getting congested. And it's, you know, this great rebirth for the game. But I know, I just didn't feel like I had a way forward with the Let's Play, because I didn't feel like I was being served by doing the side quests and things. But with a new mastery rank earring as a possibility, I feel that that's changing, and now it serves us to do side quests, and we're gonna see other players while doing side quests, and it's gonna be fantastic. And you know, this is magically inclined fight, so we might as well use RTL at level 2. And Magic Accuracy never hurt anybody. And let's go ahead and use Light Arts. Addendum White. Re-raise just in case, because why not? Scholar Sub's actually kind of goated the more I think about it for Rune Fencer. It gives you a lot of stuff that you wouldn't otherwise have. And it also gives you a means of doing this. And you might think, oh hey, that, you know, Mom Bureau is just gonna overwrite that. But apparently if you put Protect and Shell on every party member, then he won't waste time using Guard Drink, which Guard Drink is actually more powerful than Protect 5 and Shell 5. It's a more powerful effect. And as Rune Fencer, we only have access to Protect 4. But all of Mom Burrow's potions share the same timer, so he can only do 2 potions back to back, and then he has to wait like I think something absurd like 5, maybe even like 6 to 9 seconds before he can do 2 potions again. And so it's this whole thing where like he's better the more you do for him. Like, you pay him, that makes all his potions AoE. So whenever he has to remove status ailments, you know, you're saving him lots and lots of seconds. And then just also the fact that I need more refresh gear on Rune Fencer. If you actually protect and shell your whole party like that, and he doesn't have to use guard drink every 5 minutes, then you also save yourself that potion use can go towards healing or status removal. So you're less likely to get into the weird situations that I see all the time people get into with Monbiro. The people who don't like the Monbiro trust are basically the people who just try to use him without, you know, taking into consideration his script or his AI. And, you know, as long as you take it into consideration, you do a lot better. It's just a fact. So please tell me that we can just do the thing. Okay. Also, please tell me that I don't have to go get another FFXI because I left. Okay. What we really subbed Scholar for was so that we could throw Bar Lizard on everybody. Because this thing has a terror move that is ice related. Now we'll go into Dark Arts. And I think we can just spawn it and fight it now. An unknown entity coalesces from the steam and attacks. Dude, it spawns unclaimed? What the hell? Now I should have put my runes on. Now I'm the stupid one. The thing is, though, to get protection from its terror, we'll have to actually put on a fire rune. But no, I think we're just gonna leave the bar spell to the bar spell. And what we can do, though, is we can look, it's already like mostly dead. Look at this. Oh, it's our style on. What a jerk. Okay, now we gotta. Let's put on our lunch set and nuke it. See how much our nukes do. It's only Thunder 1, but. Our lunch set isn't anything to write home about either, it's just all my own thing. Maybe we can make Shantato do a light. We can burst, and then... Oh, I think RCL might be getting in the way, but whatever. Let's see. Let's just do lunch. How with this much magic evasion are we getting terrored for this long? It's an ice attack, but I wonder if the terror effect on it is actually technically considered a different element. Oh, we've lost hate to Shantata too as well. Some tank dying. Of course, I didn't even cast Crusade, so... Dude, my trusts are terrorizing before I am. Okay, let's try this again. Mediation. And then let's plunge it. Boom. Oh, we missed the magic burst. I guess Arciella got in the way again. Oh, Arciella. Oh, for the love of fuck. And we're terrorized again. What a delightful thing to fight. But see, like, look, our trusts are nowhere near being killed or anything, so I don't understand why that Chickaboo was having such a hard time with it. But you know what, let's put on Fire Runes and see if we can just, like, Valiance our way through the terror. I think Valiance is actually magic damage, but let's see. Flooge for us will be good. No harm will come from using Valiance. Let's see if we can get her to make another white skill chain for us. Koltada got in the way. Gear strip is so annoying. Okay, maybe we can burst this again. Dude, Koltada, you son of a bitch. Oh, but wait. Oh, that's Decision. Whatever. Any magic damage will be stronger than physical. Or not. Whatever, this thing doesn't have that much HP. I know we're kind of geared to the teeth. Relative to this, but like, look, that other person had a similar level of gearing. They should have been able to kill it as fast as we did. Like, that took like what, like, maybe 5 minutes? God. I'm so irritated I can't see straight. No, I can see straight. I just... How annoying, you know? Now, what might have happened is, I guess maybe how their trust died was they didn't summon a good setup with plenty of healing. I didn't pay attention to their setup earlier, but they might have summoned, you know, just like one healer or something, and then when their gear was getting stripped, maybe they lost their weapon. And if you lose your weapon, even if all your other gear is I-119, you typically drop to being I-109, and they might not have noticed because they might have just, you know, been like, whatever, this is a weak thing, I'll just, you know, the trust will kill it. And they might have had multiple pieces of item level gear stripped, and when that happens, your trust lose item level as well, and your trusts don't have any defenses. So, once that happens, you know, that's like a level 100 and, you know, 10 creature or whatever, it's gonna start killing them. And I literally watched them all die earlier. Just like, I don't know what that person was doing wrong, but they were not playing well for the level of gear they had. So, you know. But it's done. We got the key item. We can go. I think now we go to the. I don't know if we would go straight to the Taru at the docks or if we'd go back to the tomato lady. Let's see. Rune Fencer. When Adeline first came out, Rune Fencer was the job that interested me the most because it's obviously a take on Magic Swordsman from Final Fantasy V. And I leveled it to 99 right away. And was not sure exactly what to think of it. Because when it first came out, it didn't have the artifact yet. They didn't release its artifact until I want to say a couple months after Adeline came out. I could be wrong. I wasn't paying attention like super hard. But I didn't actually get its artifact armor until a little bit later. It was one of the times I'd come back to the game, I believe. And I'd been gone from the game for a little bit. And one of my friends was doing Delve and stuff. And he was just like, oh, you know, you could really quickly go do like Rune Fencer quests. And you'll get the artifact armor. And I was like, okay. And I went and I did all of the Rune Fencer quests without much difficulty and got full I-109. But I lost interest in playing shortly thereafter. By the goddess almighty, Whitey, this is a frost-encrusted flame gem. So you were truly able to bestow that apparition. And you even managed to get a hold of a rune saber? Inconceivable weavable. It'd take millennia for the stars to align as they have for you. You must have used some sort of pioneer trickery. Ah, Jera. But if she was willing to part Taru with it, that must mean you're one of the elite who are engraved with the enlightened endeavor. I wouldn't want to disappoint Taru, someone as devoted to swinging swords as I am to smithing them. Just let me gather weather myself. First, I must expunge all the conflict-harrowing thoughts from my mind. There. I'm now in the correct Taru state of mind to receive your rune saber and frost-encrusted flame gem. Thank you. Oh ho, I can feel the fire of the forge burning passionately with me once more. Or with me once again. Okay, so we did all that. Oh, check the inconspicuous barrel after one game day has passed. Oh my fucking god, dude. Gonna go crazy. But I guess since we've got a game day to wait, we could just go ahead and go check on our log garden, maybe harvest, and then we could go to the go to the Pioneers Guild and do some more coalition stuff to try to get our coalitions up to legend rank. What I really need to start doing is I need to start buying or farming revival tree roots. And I need to like try to harvest from my mod garden. Like usually I've been harvesting from it since I have 2 furrows. I've been harvesting from it about 4 times a day. But you can like mine and do your grove 9 times a day or something. So I need to raise how much I harvest to at least, I think, at least 8 times a day instead of 4 times. I've just been using grain seeds because I'm lazy and they are harvestable like every 6 hours or something like that. And I can like harvest them when I wake up and then harvest them before I go to bed. That's 4 harvests. But if I only harvest 4 times a day, it'll still take me over 100 days to rank the furrows up. I think, because I've harvested like 80 something times, and you gotta harvest 512 times to get maximum furrow rank. And the thing we'll get out of maximum furrow rank is rank 7 for the furrow, which will be part of getting our mod garden to maximum rank. But also, once you get your mod garden to maximum rank, apparently you get this really good White Mage's Trust called Ignis, which is, you know, the what you call it, the same Ignis from, you know, who's technically the king of Adelan, and, you know, Arciela's brother. Yep, every 6 hours. Cool beans. Which I guess if I was more Johnny on the spot with the every 6 hours, I could harvest them when I wake up, and then harvest them 6 hours later, and then harvest them again before I go to bed. And that would be 6 times a day with just grain seeds. And 6 times a day, let's see, after 1 month, that would be 180 harvests. So it would take roughly 3 months at that pace. I guess I could just not worry about it until my grove and my mine are closer to where they need to be. The 2 nets, they only have to be pulled up like 80 or 90 times or something like that. And you can only pull them up once a day, so you're hard limited by those. And your grove and your mine, but you're not hard limited by the furrow. So the furrow is something you can just go do. Like, you can just... Oh yeah, I unlocked Your Worship Wield. I need to do the procure materials from that. Five materials by logging, huh? Guess we need a hatchet or 2. So we need 5 materials, so I'll get 6 hatchets in case they break or something. Maybe 7 hatchets, I don't know. Yeah, that'll work. Now to get lost in the forest until we can work on the AF again. Although this episode is at about an hour, so maybe... No. We're gonna push it out to at least an hour and a half. We're gonna get to the next AF quest before we before we give up on that bullhonkus. Also, I want to reiterate again that I really like Rune Fencer because of its interaction with Sylvie. I like not needing Bard Trusts to cap haste, because that means it literally means we can summon anything else that we want. Like, if we wanted to be extra safe, we could just summon Lily-Set too for free healing. And like Samba. She does some sort of Samba thing. We'll just summon her. We're not gonna need it because we're not here to fight, but you know, we might as well. As much as I like Rune Fencer though, it's a magic related job. And the issue I have with magic related jobs is that, with a few exceptions, a lot of them require so many different sets that I technically am not able to play them optimally the way the player base expects them to be played without getting third-party tools, because the player base likes to optimize everything. And for mages, this is especially poignant because you're expected to have, is it like precast, midcast, and endcast sets for like every major spell. And that basically means a set that has a bunch of fast cast for your precast, then a set that you swap into in the middle of the cast so that you get the damage, and then a set at the end of the cast that you swap into just as the spell lands, where if you swap into it at the right time, then you'll get your recast timers or something like that. Like you'll get some benefit, and I don't really understand how that works. Like, I can understand casting in the fast cast gear and then swapping into intelligence gear before the spell lands, but it's a little, like, even that's a little too, like, irritating to me. But the other one that involves 3 different sets, it's not possible without an add-on called Gear Swap. And so you literally can't perform as well as other players, vanilla, if you're a mage. You just can't. Now, I'm not saying that you can't win and that you can't do very well on mage, but there are just a lot of situations where you'll be left wondering, you know, how someone was able to do what they did. And usually the answer is they're cheating. And this is true for melee jobs as well, because there's also this add-on called GA0 that causes you to unable to be animation locked. And so when you use job abilities with GA0, your character experiences, they can do job abilities while moving, without movement being interrupted, and they won't freeze up. Like when you draw your weapon and move towards an enemy, I also believe there might be a less delay between GA0 job ability use and your next auto attack round. I'm not sure on that. I don't think that one's probably just me not knowing shit. but I wouldn't be surprised if there was something that allowed you to cheat like that. But the difference between a vanilla melee player and a vanilla or a third-party melee player is so close that I am able to outperform almost everybody who's using third-party tools to melee. There is this one add-on called Auto Weapon Skill that I've heard about, that it reads the incoming packet for your TP acquisition and will weapon skill for you at the exact moment the server says that you have 1000 TP. And so you weapon skill faster than you would be able to vanilla, because on vanilla you have to rely on the heads up display to see when you have enough TP. And so you're always going to be weapon skilling slightly slower than, given the same exact build and job, than somebody who's using auto weapon skill. And this is frustrating because you'll know that you have a better build than somebody, but they'll be weapon skilling faster than you still, because the amount of time to weapon skill nowadays ranges from, like, 2 seconds at like the soonest to like 4 seconds at the latest. And the heads up display, is like a whole second slower than auto weapon skill. And so any situation where someone can just spam weapon skill with no regard for skill chains, or no regard for having to move, like say a big giant pack of monsters is pulled and super tanked, then the person with auto weapon skill is gonna get more kills or more weapon skills fired off, more things hit than a vanilla player. And it's very annoying to compete against, because I have to compete against it, because so many people are just so willing to cheat nowadays. But with that said, I've apparently been able to impress people with how good I am at the game, and I've been brought into a bunch of groups that want to do V25 clears, and I've gotten 2 of the 7 V25s cleared already. And we're going to try again tomorrow. For more V25 clears, actually. And we're doing Mbo's V25 2 key item method. And I get to be the Beastmaster for key item 1, so I get charged with making sure we don't die by sucking the TP out of Mbo's. And then for key item 2, I get to be Warrior, and this means the group thinks that my Warrior is better than everybody else in the group's Warrior, and that they're relying on me to do the damage, the bulk of the damage. And I'm not going to be alone in dealing the damage. I'm just going to be the main guy. The guy that people will blame if we fail to meet the DPS check. And, our very first attempt at it, we actually got it to 20%. But I don't remember if we wiped or we ran out of time. I'm pretty sure we ran out of time. But I wasn't firing my weapon skills as fast as I possibly could have been. And our Corsair died. And they were doing a pretty sizable amount of damage. It's not 20%'s worth. But if they hadn't died, we would have been a lot closer. I'm hoping we can win in the morning. I don't know which one they're going to try to make us do after that, assuming we win. But I'm very interested to be able to beat the V25s. I'm going to try to record them. We've beaten Zevioso and Kalunga. I have the Kalunga video, but I don't have... I didn't think to record the B. But my Link Shell members that have cleared the V25s, they saw my video and they think I have screw loose because I don't use any add-ons. And more than that, I leave the default settings for a lot of stuff on. And so they think I'm crazy. I hope we can find another logging point. I like this zone though. I like the music in this zone. It's the same music that plays in the Rala Waterways. It's called Water's Umbral Knell. And it's pretty soothing track. I can hear my wife blowing her nose in the other room. I hope I haven't woken her up. It's the weekend, but she's trying to maintain her schedule. Also, this room gets really hot with the door closed. I'd get on my mount ride around, but then we'd have to put up with the mount music. I also don't know where any of the logging points are. You'd think in a forest or a jungle, you'd just be able to find tree after tree. But we're beholden to logging points, so I don't know. We've probably been running in circles, because this jungle is notorious for that. It's deep in the nighttime now too. The umbrals are out and about. All in all though, as far as V25s that I really want to clear for gear I'm interested in, Kalunga was the biggest deal, because that'll let me R30 the Zacariahrria set. But the ones I'd really like, I'd like to clear Arabati V25 and Nagai V25. Because those are the other two sets that I really, really, really care about. As far as Imbos goes, I don't really care about his sets. His hat would be nice for Bard and for Red Mage. But I don't really play White Mage or Summoner. But I'd be happy to have that clear under my belt on principle. Because Yggdrasil, which Imbos is, which is the Wild's Keeper of this area we're in right now, the Cyclopean mushroom undead tentacle tree, straight out of Evil Dead. They are evil. They feel evil and they look evil, and I don't like them. Of course, another reason to get all the V25s is people say it helps raise your mastery rank. So that's another reason to want to do them. Of course, we can't get away without having to do. Let's turn down the music. I'm always paranoid about how loud stuff is. Like, I'm sure my wife can actually hear me. And the extra. Feel bad about it. It's late enough for me to go to bed. Man, look at all those divine logs. Kinda crazy. Gameplay change is almost here. We can almost go do Geomancer quests again. And start the next Rune Fencer one. I was hoping we'd find a logging point. Before the day change, so we could get the coalition assignment done. Can I turn off this? I cannot turn it off. Geomancy effects are interesting like that. They don't let you turn them off. They can't be removed by anything, as far as I know. Another harvesting point. Can't I just have a logging point, please? Maybe I should look up the map and try to find it. But I've always felt like this is one of those zones where the map doesn't really help that much. And I am not alone in that belief. obviously I don't have to finish the thing in a single trip, but I would have liked to. We'll go a little further, but we're gonna get back to the AF quest within, I'll give it like 3 more minutes, not 2 more minutes, to find a locking point. Can't sleep? My wife just came in to get her water. She's having a real bad cough and I can't understand her half the time. Now it's funny, they supposedly did an update for this zone where they removed some bushes to make it easier to navigate, supposedly. And I never spent enough time here to actually know how much they did for it, but to me it doesn't feel like it changed at all. Damn it, we're hitting the mark where I said we'd go back to the AF quests. How annoying. I wish you could see logging points on wide scan. That would be real helpful. Of course, it'd only be slightly helpful in Adeline zones because they move so frequently. Oh look, another motherfucking harvesting point. Not a locking point. Well, we tried. Let's go get our AF. Sage. Let's see. Where'd it go? I always lose my train of thought when my wife, like, walks in. Cause, like, never know if she's gonna, like, just sit down and turn on the TV. Thought for a second she was, but she just grabbed her water bottle. Attached to the barrel is a note, written in a strong and decisive hand that reads thus. Sir Calmwind, I've ordered the Courier's Coalition to deliver the sword to Octavian post our haste. Yesten Ovesten. Okay. Well, now we just go over to Eastern Adeline. I think the closest one is actually the same one as the Geomancer, technically. Oh, how I have eagerly awaited your arrival, Calmwind. I received the most momentous of swords, but not a moment ago. Speaking of which, 'tis high time I tore the fence of secrecy surrounding Runefencer blades. Svirdrade, the grandfather of the Runicards, was gracious enough to grace Adelinian Smith with the method by which he fashioned his personal sword. Not simply the blade itself, mind you, but instructions on how to create it. Know you not what this implies? The runes we employ are inscribed both upon and within ourselves, such is why they resonate with our very emotions and cogitations. The same can be said of a runist's relationship with his blade. The deeper the emotional bond between the two, the faster his runes will adjust to the sword's presence, and the stronger they will resonate with each other. You have wandered far and wide to obtain everything necessary to create this metallic magnum opus, and even forged your own friendship with a forge stoker. Your experiences, the passions of its creator, and the emotional ties between you were all molded into the resilient and accurate shape you see before you. Therefore, while this was crafted for the sake of Orvale and Runefencers everywhere, there is no one more fitting in Vana'diel to wield this blade than you, Calmwind. And the name of your new companion, the symbol of all you have sacrificed for this order, is the Bjork sword. Take command of this shining example of defensive excellence and offensive might. The sky is truly the limit once you master the intricacies of this blade. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, no new title, but we got the Bjork sword. And it doesn't look like much nowadays, but back in the day when this sword first came out, it was simply a quest reward. It's took the world by storm. People were like, oh my god, you just get this for doing a simple quest? It's so powerful. And, yeah, it's pretty cool looking too. But of course, nowadays it's nothing to write home about. But now, I think we can just go on to the next one, maybe? Although we have to zone. But you know, we're at the hour and a half mark, and it's late, and I might be keeping my wife up by making the recording, so I think I'll stop for now, and we'll pick up with Geomancer and RuneFencer Artifact Quest the next time I record. So, thanks for watching, stay safe, and have a great day, and I'll see you again next time.